everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and today I'm going to do round 2 this week for our low ABV series. Now, Monday I did the Hefeweizen from Weihenstephaner. That one clocks in right at about 5.4%. Today I'm going to review for you a wheat beer, which comes to us from Floyds. I actually had a coworker who went up to Michigan last week, a couple weeks ago, and said, hey, what can I bring back for you? So I made a little list, and one of the beers from Floyds that I've always heard really good things about but never really had was this beer, the Gumballhead. And Floyds is known for making just traditional ales that are really hopped up. So I've heard that this, even though it is a wheat beer, has a pretty nice hop component. So I was really anxious to get a couple. And this week, like I said, I wanted to do a few sessions where we focus on lower alcohol by volume beers. I think a lot of times people are really fascinated by the bigger beers like the 9, 10, 11, up to 15% alcohol by volume beers. But I really want to share some beers that I think I would either like or I know that I'll like, so that you guys can go out and try to find some of these beers as well, because I think they're every bit as important as the bigger alcohol by volume beers on the market. So the Gumballhead, luckily this just comes in regular 12-ounce bottles, so you can normally find these in 6-packs. I think I really picked up 3 of these, so this will be the first one I've had, so pretty excited to try it. Now, again, we talked about Hefeweizens the other day, and the wheat is just basically the American version of that. So this one's going to be a lighter beer, and I can't remember what the ABV is on this one. I think it's right around 5%. They normally don't put their ABVs on the bottles, but if memory serves me, it's 5%. If I'm wrong, you'll see it at the end credits, and you'll see it on my website, which is www.thehopry.com. Shameless plug, but whatever. Well, let's go ahead and open this one. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use my ring to open this one because I love Floyds caps. They make really good magnets. They come off really easily as well if you just pry them off with your ring. But let's go ahead and see what this one's got going on. I mean, obviously, right out of the bat, I'll tell you that this is a really light-colored beer, almost along the lines of like a Pilsner. It's very clear. It's just a warm, hazy yellow color. So much like the Hefeweizen that we reviewed the other day, only this one's a bit clearer than that one, where the Hefeweizen had a bit more cloudiness. This one is a lot more filtered looking to me. So, more along the lines of a Pilsner or a Pale Ale, although even Pale Ales tend to take on more of a burnt orange color. But, just a traditional, and again, I will point out the effervescence or the carbonation that's in this beer. There are lots of bubbles, and I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I'll try to hold it up there, but a pretty good amount of carbonation in the beer. Now, this is a wheat beer, and normally I can't smell wheat beers, from this distance like I can this one. I really can already start to smell those hops that are in there. It really kind of smells like a very light version of the Dreadnought. But let me go ahead and confirm that. So, yeah, this smells a lot like a very, very light version of the Dreadnought. In fact, I can tell you they probably use about the same combination of hops, obviously just in a smaller amount and a much lighter beer. But definitely getting a lot of that citrus component. There's like some, I can tell, I'm guessing, but I'm pretty sure there's some Simcoe hops in there. I definitely get some, like, not so much like pineapple and mango, but more of like an orange peel or a nice fresh summer peach. So it's more on that, floral end of the charts. But this is really impressive smelling for a wheat beer, though. But I'm going to go ahead and try it because I'm sure it's going to taste good. Yeah, so that, I'll be honest, I think this tastes exactly like what I thought it would. However, I don't get as much of the wheat characteristic that I normally get from, really good wheat beers. To me, this is almost like a lighter pale ale. So when I say a lighter pale ale, I just mean that it's not as bitter as a pale ale. I'll just take an example, the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, just because I think everybody's most familiar with that one. That's got a really strong amount of bitterness to it. So they've used a lot of bittering hops. I don't think they've used quite as much bittering hops in this beer as some of those others do, but I actually like that because it really leaves it light and refreshing like a wheat beer should be. But at the same time, if you're somebody who really likes hops, you get to enjoy those really nice hop flavors that you would come to expect from a regular IPA or even a hoppier pale ale. But yeah, this is a pretty nice beer. I think if you could get these beers and take them to football games, sporting events, whatever, everybody's out tailgating, and you just want some really good sessional beers that you could drink, maybe 5 or 6 of, but you're somebody who really wants some good flavor as well. I think this is a perfect example of something that you could use in that situation. Is this the best wheat beer I've ever had? No, probably not. Just because I don't think it's as true to the style as maybe it could be. Three Floyds isn't, again, they're notorious for making their beers really hoppy. So even if this were a pale ale with a touch more bitterness, I think it would almost be spot on as well. Anyway, pretty good beer. I'm going to go ahead and rate this one. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's really good. It's very enjoyable. It's not the best that I've had, but I'm going to probably stay right at about 90. I think it's a really good beer. I think most of you who would see this or buy it will be really happy with it. Again, the hops are going to make you happy. The lightness of it is going to make you happy as well. So anyway, with that, and because we're talking hops, wanted to remind you to go to my website, which is thehopry.com, and you'll notice up in the upper right-hand corner on my tabs, I've got a tab called Campaign. And basically all I'm saying and trying to get liquor stores across the country to do is to fridge the hops. When you talk about beers that have a lot of hop character, the more they're exposed to heat, the more they're exposed to light, the quicker those really nice hop aromas and flavors start to dissipate. So if you see these beers sitting out on the shelves in your liquor stores, talk to your beer manager and say, hey, would you mind putting these in the refrigerator? I think they'll last longer, and maybe I'll come back and get them at a later date, and I'd like to know that they're fresh when I do. So anyway, I think that about wraps it up for today. I will see you guys on Friday when I think I'll be reviewing in the third part of my low ABV series. I think I'm going to pull out my Lost Abbey Red Poppy Ale. That clocks in at 5% as well, but I've not had that one, and I imagine that's probably a really good beer. It comes from Lost Abbey, so hey. Well, anyway, I'll go ahead and leave you guys for now. My name is Mark Starr, and we'll see you later.